Delhi-bound SpiceJet aircraft carrying 185 passengers landed safely back in Patna right after takeoff, and this is according to officials. Its left engine had caught fire following a bird strike. Now, sources at the aviation regulator have told NDTV that the pilots suspected that there was a bird hit just as the aircraft rotated. In other words, right after it took off, the aircraft continued to climb out normally. The pilots were alerted to sparks coming out of the left-hand engine soon after by the cabin crew, at which stage the pilots operated an in-engine extinguisher to stop the fire before shutting down the engine itself. They then alerted air traffic control in Patna of the emergency and landed safely. All passengers as well as crew members are safe. Also, many videos were shot by locals around that area right after the plane took off on the ground, showing sparks coming out from the left engine. So a big mishap there averted by swift action being taken by the pilots as well as the cabin crew. These are visuals that you're seeing on your television screens taken by locals right after the aircraft took off.
सेफली लैंड करा के सभी पैसेंजर को उतार लिया गया है, कोई हताहत नहीं है और स्पाइस जेट की फ्लाइट थी और ये पटना से दिल्ली के लिए टेक ऑफ की थी। टेक ऑफ करने के बाद ही उसके बाएं जो उसका है डायना है, उसमें जो है आग की कुछ लपटें दिखी हैं, जिसको स्थानीय लोगों ने, फुलवारी शरीफ के लोगों ने देखा और तुरंत फोन किया जिला प्रशासन को भी, एयरपोर्ट के लोगों को भी, और फिर उनके पायलट को भी पता चला अंदर, और उनका फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर जो था वो एक्टिवेट हो गया था। उसके बाद इन लोगों ने वापस लैंड कराया है। वो सुरक्षित ढंग से लैंड कर गई है फ्लाइट और सभी यात्री सुरक्षित हैं, उनको उतार लिया गया है।
स्पाइस जेट का फ्लाइट था, दिल्ली की तरफ जा रहा था। जैसे ही उड़ा है स्पाइस जेट तो लोगों ने देखा है और एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटीज नोट किया कि एक विंग से उसकी आग लगी हुई थी, आग छोड़ रहा था। तो एयरपोर्ट इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग में सेफली लैंड कर गया है और अभी कोई सीरियस इंजरीज वगैरह नहीं है। बाकी सारा जो प्रोटोकॉल होता है उनको फॉलो कर रहा था। अब एक विंग पे आग लगी।
पता ऐसे चला क्योंकि कुछ लोग बहुत पैनिक कर गए थे, वो लोग चिल्लाने लगे थे कि स्पार्क्स हो रहे हैं, फायर हो रहे हैं। वैसे पता चला, हमें पहले विश्वास नहीं हुआ था कि सच में कुछ है। मुझे लगा शायद लोग ऐसे ही थोड़ा सा घबरा गए हैं, लेकिन फिर जब अनाउंसमेंट हुई कि हम लोग अभी रिटर्न कर रहे हैं, तब लगा कि हाँ सच में नहीं पता चला। क्योंकि अनाउंसमेंट हुई, पायलट ने अनाउंस किया कि आप लोग शांत रहे, हम लोग अभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स है। ये नहीं बताया कि स्पार्क हुआ है, बिकॉज उससे तो और ज्यादा पैनिक हो जाते। लेकिन फिर बोले कि रिटर्न टू पटना, ऐसे बोले, फिर हम लोग लैंड किए।
My colleague Vishnu Som joining us on the phone line to get us more details. Vishnu, so in all, a major air mishap averted in time by as pilots as well as the cabin crew took a quick action to avert the tragedy.
No, I don't think this was a major incident. I think bird hits happen all the time, and the pilots took timely action. They detected or sensed the possibility of some sort of problem. So I think it's important to sort of put this in perspective. At the moment they took off, they detected something wrong. The aircraft continued to fly out normally as it's designed to do. And then there were some sparks which were seen by the cabin crew members. They alerted the cockpit crew, in other words, the pilots, who used the extinguisher to put out the fire and then shut down the engine. This is not something that's terribly. I mean, it's not all that rare. Bird strikes happen all the time. Aircraft are designed to withstand bird strikes, and the reason we have two engines in aircraft of this class is, to ensure that one engine is enough to ensure that you safely land or continue your flight. In this case, the pilot chose to return safely, and it happened without any further incident. So the pilots acted professionally as they're expected to do. There were no injuries on board. The Director General of Civil Aviation telling us that this was a bird strike which had taken place, on the basis of which the pilots took the correct action.
Vishnu, also, is there any precedent of such mid-air crisis? What it appears to be that the cabin crew and the pilots are very, very trained to face such situations, how they manage to quickly react on the entire incident. How rare is this, and how, well trained are the cabin crew and the pilots are to encounter such situations?
This is not uncommon at all, and the bird hits happen, particularly over our skies. It's quite frequent, and the cabin crew are trained to instantly react to this situation, And the cockpit crew, obviously the pilots, are usually alerted through their sensors if something like this happens. So it's nothing. Again, I want to stress once again, this is not a major incident.
Okay.
It is an emergency. There is a procedure which the pilots have to follow. An engine shutdown is considered a part of an emergency procedure, particularly if there are flames or a fire which is detected. But it's important to again remember that civilian aircraft are incredibly robust, and if modern extinguisher systems put out a fire or sparks instantly, and in that situation you shut down the engine and you land, which is what they did.